they didn't do that, the bees would be making mead themselves. And there are cases in nature where a beehive in the crux of a tree will become swamped from a big rainstorm, and then that'll actually start with some just ambient heat, dissolve some of that honey, and mead can happen spontaneously in nature. People knew that there was something magic going on because there was always going to be this resident yeast culture sitting around in those vessels that were creating alcohol. And so people all around the world were making mead.
I'm going to prepare the yeast, and to do that we need a specific water temperature, and so this is coming out at 105 degrees, which is exactly what we need. Sure, like if you're making bread, you normally rise the yeast in a water that was about this temperature. All the water in the building is filtered. We've got a very large charcoal filter that filters everything as the water comes into the building, so even the water in the toilet is filtered. All right, so we've got our 2.5 gallons, and then I need 675 grams of these nutrients. It's an aperitif, if you will, for the yeast, so that it can start chowing down on the honey we're about to give it. Quite simply, yeast eats sugar, creates alcohol, and that's the basis of all fermentation. This here is dry yeast, billions and billions and billions of cells. This is going to rehydrate and get all nice and hungry.
We get to use techniques from the wine world, from the craft brewing world, in order to create things that are truly unique and like you've never had before.
So gravity is actually a measurement of density. Like the gravity of water is like 1.000. And so we're measuring on a scale of like water to thick water. So what I'm looking for here is, well, this is like 1.125. For our purposes, the density is indicative of the sugar content. It can be used for other things as well. Like rocket fuel is also measured by gravity. The gravity tells us the sugar content. And so with a recipe like this that we've made many, many times, we want to make sure that it's consistent, and this will become important as we ferment. As this ferments, the gravity will get lower as the yeast consumes the sugar. And so if we take a measurement in a few days, this will drop down and down and down until it's to the point where we want to stop the fermentation, basically.
In this process of making mead, there's a lot of science that goes into what we do. And we're looking at the pH and the gravities and the temperatures and all of these different factors that go into having a happy, healthy fermentation, creating the best product we can. Well, then there's the artistic side. And that's what the barrel program here really represents. The different qualities that we're gonna get from the different woods, the different barrels, the different way that they were all treated, really put in flavor to what we're doing that is sort of magical in the way that we don't know exactly when this is going to be ready to drink, and it's going to be different tomorrow, just a little, than it is today. And it'll definitely be different in 6 months than it is today. When you cook or toast the wood, the lignin that makes up wood, you can chemically change lignin to vanillin, and vanillin is the exact same flavor that you get from a vanilla bean or that you have in vanilla ice cream. So you can get flavors like vanilla and even coconut and nutmeg from oak. There are so many factors that can be considered when it comes to barrel aging. This is actually a ruby port barrel from Portugal that we imported. So, gotta get this just right. Now we're taking a sample of some beautiful raspberry mead that's aging in a port barrel. That is something.